What's up, y'all? It's Colin Sexton. You checking into 3-point conversion. Hey, tune in.
Yes, you know, I thought it was a good comeback win for the fellas. You know, thought they showed a lot of grit. And, you know, finally got stops. You know, I thought offensively we were fine, you know, and I said it. And you know, I'll say this, you know, I've told anybody that would listen that offensively we're way ahead of the defense. And I've never been with a team that has been like that, whether I was playing or whether I was a coach. It's never been like that before. But, you know, I was just happy, you know, happy more for them because they took a stand. And I think, you know, they didn't allow themselves to cave in. They kept fighting till the game turned. And I think that's a great sign. We still have a ways to go. But at the same time, I do always say this, it's always easier to critique, and teach winning rather than losing. You know, hats off to Howard, really good team. You know, I've been away from college for a couple years, but coming back, I'm like, they look like they're going to win that league again, you know. You know, pretty good team. They play hard. You know, they play together, you know, and, you know, that was a great test, a great early season test for us.
Questions for Coach? Rob?
Seemed like in the last half of the second half, the guys started to show a lot more energy on the defensive end, and that seemed like the difference in the game.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I think we went down maybe 12, and you know, it was a timeout, TV timeout, or maybe I called it, and I think that the guys, you know, told themselves that it was time, you know, and it was time to play with a more sense of urgency and toughness. And truth be told, I mean, I don't know if any of them said it. I actually said, let's play zone. But here goes the problem. I haven't played a possession of zone since I got here. So I just wanted to see what they was going to say, honestly. And so when I said, so y'all want to play zone? And then I'm not going to say no name. One person's like, yeah, because they killing us. And then the other one was like, no, Coach, we gotta man up. We gotta get a little tougher. I promise you, I haven't played a possession of zone since I got here. Only taught zone offense, zone, you know, different things. But you know, I'm not a zone guy for the most part. I'm not really a zone guy. And you know, they went out there and they did. They showed a lot of toughness. I was proud of them. You know, it's not an easy game to play. Let me tell you something. I played enough basketball to know that, you know, if a team's already good and then you give them confidence, it becomes hard to stop them. You know what I mean? And, you know, for us to finally get stops. And then I thought us attacking the rim helped because it really, really put fouls on their guys. And I think that, you know, that was a big deciding factor in the game as well.
You mentioned it, but you kind of went into a lot of like two-man ball, ISO ball with Miles and letting him drive to the basket, draw fouls, you know, get easy buckets there. Claw got a couple easy buckets too. Just kind of what went into it. It was very different than how you guys have played in the first two games with so much assists and everything. I think you had 11 tonight. Like, it was just a totally different style, like play in the second half. Was that just going with the hot hand and letting it ride with Miles and seeing what was going on?
No, I just kind of let the game. I just kind of tried to let the game dictate what we did. You know, I'm not trying to trick the game. You know, we were scoring, you know, doing the same thing, so I really didn't want to change it. When you have a lot of success, I think that's me being an NBA guy. Once you have a lot of success doing one thing, until they stop it, you don't change. You know, so, you know, I thought Miles did a good job of getting downhill, and, you know, we just stuck with it, made some good passes. You know, so, you know, we scored 88 points. You know, that's a lot of points. You know what I mean? But, we got to do better on the defensive end. But again, the last 10 minutes of the game, yeah, we found something. We stuck with it.
If you just look, not just the basic stat line across the board, and they had the shot better at the line just in general, but y'all out-rebounded them, did better on turnovers. Does it feel like for a game like this where you may not be perfect in all facets that you're still pulling out wins, that feels just good that you at least can pull out a game like this?
Yeah, it does. It feels good. It's, again, I always say this, and, you look at the stats, and, if you didn't watch the game, you would have thought maybe it was a nip and tuck game, but the reality of it is that, I feel like we got to get tougher. That for me is my issue. I think we got to have more sense of urgency, and hopefully tonight's game helped us. I'm not one. I come from a mid-major. I coached at a mid-major, and what I tried to explain to those guys is that teams like Howard, they went to the tournament. They got a couple guys that came back, and they don't really fear. They don't really fear. Coming in here. So you got to go out and you have to play. And, I think that our guys didn't really understand that until we got down 12, 13 points. And, we can't afford to do that. Not on a consistent basis. You can't come from behind and do things like this all the time. Again, what I will say, though, is it's always better to teach winning than it is losing. So, again, proud of them. They really, really, really did a good job of coming back, making shots when needed, getting stops when needed.
You went from the exhibition game where you were a little concerned about the rebounding of the team to this game where you had 22 offensive rebounds. Is there anything you've noticed that's going into that transformation?
Ty, I think he sets the tone. I think that tonight, I think that what happened was the game, it got a little grimy, I think, and everybody went to the glass. I think that it helped us. And, I always say this, we got to be scrappy. We got to compete at a high level each and every night. And, I think that offensive rebounds are a reflection of that. And so to see that we got 22 offensive rebounds, it makes me happy. But at the same time, too, we gotta do a better job of converting free throws. So if we getting offensive rebounds, if we getting fouled, if we getting extra possessions, man, we gotta make them pay.
So how do you make a team tougher? How does your team get tougher?
Here's the thing about toughness. We got a couple guys, and I think the phrase is overrated. Because there's a mental toughness and there's a physical toughness for sure. But mentally, the mental toughness to me is more important. And so when I say toughness, I'm talking about the mental toughness. It's the mental aspect of the game. It's the attention to detail. It's listening to the coaches. It's listening to the coaches, understanding that what he's saying, quite frankly, is not bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, Howard, those guys put on their shorts the same way, they put on their jerseys the same way, and you got to respect them. And just because, we're here at Tech and they're there doesn't mean that they can't play. And so that's what I mean. We got to respect the game. I've been fortunate, man. I played on all levels. And the one thing that I understood early on is you got to respect the game. Yeah, I remember I was a 2 seed and lost to a 15 seed. I see it every year. I can't forget it. Every year, every March Madness, they show that. And I missed the shot to tie the game. So I see that every year. So my thing is that you got to respect the game and you got to honor the game and you got to come into practice and you got to work hard, because if you work hard in practice, it prepares you for the game. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice creates good habits. And good habits carry you through. That's a part of mental toughness. That's the toughness part of it, So those are things that have to be created. Like if we're in practice and you're running from contact, when you get in the game, you're not going to like contact. That's just what it is. And so that's more so what I mean. I'm proud of my guys, and we got a collective toughness, but we just need a little bit more. I want a little bit more. I need everybody to be on the same page with that.
Both you and your buddy Steve Smith, who's in the building, were tremendous free throw shooters in your career. You guys are sub 60 today. How frustrating is that as a coach? I know that's not you coaching them up in the game or whatever.
Right.
That's more mental and physical, I guess, exhaustion, or kind of what do you put that up to, the missed free throws?
We just, a little fatigue, I think everybody got to get game legs, and we just got to keep working on them. The fact that we went to the foul line 27 times, I can accept that, but making 16 of them, it's a mental thing again. When we're practicing them, you gotta imagine, you're getting game reps, with your rhythm. You're not just, going up there throwing the ball up. But at the same time too, again, 27 free throws. That's pretty good to show we were attacking the rim.
You've had one exhibition, 2 regular season games. As you move forward, are you able to get a better idea of how you want to fine tune your rotation?
Nah, I'm playing. What did I play tonight? I played 10 guys. I got Lance Terry and Biden Dongo. They'll be back here probably at least by the mid. Well, it's pretty much the middle of the month to the end of the month. Man, let me tell you something. I didn't watch college basketball the first year I was away because I had to get acclimated again to the NBA. And I watched college basketball last year a little bit more. And what I would say about tightening up the rotation is, man, I love the fact that I got 10 guys that can play, and I got 2 more guys that's coming, because you know what? There's no worse feeling in the world than a coach that gets held hostage. And you can't hold me hostage. We got a lot of good players on this team, so there's going to be a lot of people playing. And you just got to be prepared, and you got to be ready to play. That's point blank, period. If it's not your night, we got guys that can pick you up. And I think that the fellas understand that. I've preached that from day one. I've told them just go out and play as hard as you can, because nobody's going to play. I know tonight, we had a couple guys that played heavy minutes in the 30s, but for the most part, man, guys not going to play in the 30s like that. I think that, you got to be able to play hard and then come sit down and then able to go back. Ty's a great example of that, Ty's a great example that when Ty's tired, he raises his hand, he come out, get his blow, and then he go back in.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right.